Here I am inside, and here I am outside. And this is me, half inside, half outside. Which world do I currently belong to, inside or outside? Do I wear sun cream or my dressing gown? Is football or TV a better pastime? Am I wearing slippers or sandals? Is it possible to inhabit both worlds at the same time, or do they just sit two at odds with one another? Are they completely opposite? In Jesus' day, in Jerusalem, there were two worlds colliding. The Jewish world, God's chosen people and nation, and the Roman world, the occupying, oppressive force and ruler. Now, in the Jewish temple, there were religious leaders from either side of that divide. And they were coming together in their hatred of Jesus because he had spoken out against them with his teaching and made them look foolish. They were trying to have him arrested and killed. So they'd come up with a little trap. A trap that would align Jesus with one worldview or the other. Either way, it would spell defeat for Jesus. You know that thing we might do when we really want something from our mum or dad? We try and butter them up first and then ask for what it is, hoping they've dropped their guard down because we've been nice to them. We do that thing where we're like, Mum, you know how you're beautiful and smart and clever and pretty and intelligent and loving and giving and beautiful? Would you... And then we ask for whatever it is we want, hoping they've let their guard down because we've been so nice to them, they'll give it to us. The Pharisees try a similar tactic when they start talking to Jesus. They butter him up, hoping he drops his defences and walks straight into their trap. They say, Teacher, you're a man of integrity. You speak the truth, you speak in accordance with God's will. Should we pay our taxes to Caesar? The question is a yes-no question. It's seemingly straightforward, seemingly harmless, but either answer is going to leave Jesus in a tight spot. If he says yes, he seems like a Roman sympathizer supporting the oppressive regime that's invaded the land. But if he says no, he seems like a political rebellion, an activist who's against that same regime. A yes makes him a traitor to God's people, the one who the Messiah is coming to save. A no makes him a traitor to the Roman emperor and therefore guilty of treason. It's a carefully crafted question. And it leaves Jesus in a pretty tight spot. Or does it? We may be getting used to daily press conferences and members of the government and politicians being asked questions about their statements, what they're saying, and about their authority. If the politician feels like the journalist is trying to trap them or catch them out or catch them making a mistake, they might dodge the question or avoid it or wiggle out of it with a long nonsense answer. We might think Jesus would do that here because it's a lose-lose yes-no question. But Jesus tears down that image. Instead, he asks for a denarius, a Roman coin. And as he takes it, he asks, whose image and inscription is on this coin? Well, the answer is obvious. It's Caesar, Jesus. Caesar's on the coin. Then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and render to God what is God's. We get two parts here. Earthly responsibility and heavenly responsibility. If the coin is Caesar's, then give it back to him. It's simple ownership. In other words, Jesus says pay your taxes, abide by the law of the land, respect governing authority. That is our earthly responsibility. We may not always agree with our governments or our leaders, and maybe for very good reasons, but we can't ignore them or their laws. No, we are people in this world, and therefore we need to follow its rules, unless it goes against a higher authority. If the coin belongs to Caesar because it bears his image, then what belongs to God is what bears his image. And what is it that bears God's image? Well, take a look in the mirror. You might have to use your own mirror because this works better if you're in the same room as me. But it's us. We bear God's image. We're told that in Genesis. So we need to be giving ourselves to God. Yes, we still need to submit to earthly authority, but never over and above our heavenly authority, never above God. What that means is day by day, we'll live by the law of the land, in step with the law of God. Most of the time, they'll go side by side. But if those two things ever did become incompatible, say if churches were closed and Christian worship was banned by the government, as is the case for many Christian sisters and brothers around the world, then that would be an earthly authority we'd have to reject in favour of God's authority. Earthly authority may ask of us obedience and respect, but heavenly authority asks of us our lives. We are that which belongs to God. We want to live faithfully and walk in step with God. What does it mean to give ourselves to God? We're going to think more on that next week. Cue the dramatic music.